hopefully this one is better. Okay. I will stop the video so I use less bandwidth. Good, okay, so yeah, I can see in the meter there is quite low, and I have no idea how to put the volume higher. I hope you can understand what I'm saying. Just wait a couple of minutes just to make sure that Michael and the other guys move to this page. Yeah, probably I have to shout more. Maybe if you can post the link to this page, to the old one, so people that go to the old one can read on the chat that they should move here. I think there is also the air conditioning that is quite loud. Right, okay, so I start because we already lost 15 minutes, and my schedule for the day is tuning up what the car that everybody is waiting for, which is the Alfa Mito, the AI. I'm waiting for this car so much that I never tried it, so I have no idea how the artificial intelligence is doing with it, so I will have to check first of all if the AI is able to drive it, and check the performance and see how it's comparing to my lap times. Then I will have to do differential electronic controllers in order for Aris to finish the Nissan GTR road version, which has got lots of electronic stuff going on at the differential level. Then I've got a couple of reports with the new AI algorithms that fast cars like the Lotus 98 are spinning on race start, so they cannot start the race, so I'll have to check that one out. Something that I bring from yesterday, I noticed that the artificial intelligence tends to be slow at the Arrabbiata corner at Mugello, so try to understand why is that. And also there is something annoying where the artificial intelligence is going out from the pits when the qualifying session is over, or it's almost over, so they clearly don't have the time to finish a lap and start again, so there is no point for them to get out to do a lap. And that's pretty much what I plan to do in the morning, and I don't think I will be able to do it, but it's good to be optimistic. And then this afternoon I've got a couple of Sky calls with the rest of the team to plan for the release of the 1.2 version. Then I got to do some setup to do on the Xbox One development kit. And then late tonight I will work on the plugin architecture for the server of Assetto Corsa. Of course, this stream is going to be probably 1 hour something, so we will just do the Alfa Mito artificial intelligence and probably the differential controllers. I will try to check the chat if I can, but you know I need to get started. So first thing to do is set up a race situation, actually qualify situation in Vallelunga with the Alfa Mito. What is it? Extended response. And the car is going to be one car, and it's going to be if you're curious what I'm doing, I basically never use the launcher the launcher in Assetto Corsa because it really doesn't mix well with my workflow. So what I do, I just edit the race file by hand and then just launch the simulation, qualify, and show you the trial race. Okay, so first thing to do is to see what kind of lap times this car can do in Vallelunga. It should be a car that is quite similar performance-wise to the Abarth 500, so probably will be lapping around 204 or Vallelunga, something like that if I have to guess. I really have no idea what's the spec on the Mito R. So just wait for this to compile and there we go. I will just do a couple of laps, guys, and then come back to the chat to see how the situation is going. So this is the car, cute. I don't like the gray. So let's go. Let's see what lap times I can do with this one. Should be third gear, I suppose. Just a little bit more heavy than the Abarth. Could be wrong. Should be third gear as well, this one, Campagnano. Maybe third gear here. Let's see. I think so. Second gear here. Is the next big time. Okay, that should be easy enough. So let's try a lap and see how this can go. I predict a low, let's see, this is, yeah, one is just accelerating. I predict a low 204 or something like that. Maybe it's lower than that. The performance delta is giving me 2046 right now, but on the first lap it's never something you can trust. And Vallelunga is not that far from being accurate on the first lap. 2043 for now. A conservative lap when this 309. Well, it is really at the same level as the other 500. It feels more heavy, probably slightly faster in a straight line. I'll try another lap, try to push a little bit more. I know already this is a car that the artificial intelligence will struggle to drive well. Usually the artificial intelligence is very good when it's about managing a car with lots of power, and because the artificial intelligence is so good at putting power down. With this kind of cars where you just need to keep the momentum, keep the flow, be very gentle on the pedals, generally speaking, the artificial intelligence is not really good. We'll see. I'm pretty much doing the same lap time here. Okay, I think it's going to be pretty much the same lap time, 2039, so yeah, I think we can be happy with this, and we fire up the telemetry, bring in this one, a 3,930 and a 3,960. Okay. So let me check the chat quickly. Okay, cool. Okay, so I keep going. So what we are going to do now, so we have the telemetry for my lap. So I don't need the steering wheel anymore. So let's see what the AI does it. Control to the AI. So I can see straight away nobody did this AI. So the steering LA, which means look ahead. It basically means there is a yellow line that basically gives the target for the steering wheel, the AI. And this steer LA controls how far is this yellow line. And for people that are doing, let me put the volume down. For people working on the AI for mod cars, what you want to see is, by looking at the car, if the car is staying, if it is going too much on the inside, in corners, basically your steer LA is too high, so you want to put it down. If the car tends to oscillate too much, then it means that the value is too low. And it also works in conjunction with the steering gain, which is basically how hard the AI is driving the steering wheel. So this seems to be fine for now. Trail hint is something that has to do with how the artificial intelligence think it can trail brake during the corner. So the way and this is something that works together with the brake hint. So the way the way I do it is, here there is a couple of numbers here. It's basically two numbers and then a number called D, just below lat off, which means lateral offset. So with this number R, is when the AI thinks it needs to brake, like in this case, the first number is the speed in kilometers per hour the AI wants to brake to. The second number is going to be the current speed of the AI. And the D value is basically telling us how many meters are left before hitting that speed. So what it means basically, if this D value is positive, it means that the AI managed to brake faster than it thought. So basically what we do is, in the brake hint, at the moment I have 89, we just bring it up and say to the AI, okay, so be aware that you can actually brake better than that. So let's see, for example, this braking at Campagnano, and see. So it goes down to 79, and you see it went wide. So it went wide, so it means two things. Trail hint could be too high, so we put it down. And the brake hint could be high. I think in this case is the trail hint again. It was wide here, and so raptor. So keep bringing down. Usually 30 is a good starting point for every car, and then move from there. And we see here that it remained much better attached to the line that it's supposed to do. Actually, it's going, the performance delta is giving me a 2018, which is an awesome lap time. So if it's really doing 201, I think we can call it a day of Valiunga and say that we are happy with this car. When you give the AI the control of your car, it's basically running at 100%, so it's got no oscillation in the level. So let's see, lap time 2021, which I think is fair enough. It's basically how much? Almost 2 seconds faster than me. So I think we could call it a day with this car. Going faster actually because of the tweaking that I was doing. So once you're happy with this, you can just save the AI file and it will just save while it's running. Just give it another lap to see if it's actually getting better. Let's go inside, let's see how it's driving inside. It's still a little bit wide here. Better than the other. Now, I think the trail hint is still a bit high. This is the problem with this kind of AI system. Basically, now I'm giving the values, and I cannot really push the optimization too much because the fact that it works on this track, it doesn't mean that it will translate well on other tracks or other temperature situation. So you always need to be conservative. There is absolutely no point in spending too much time trying to optimize on one track. And I did the tweet like some weeks ago talking about, I think this is the best you can do without going to what I call an expert system. An expert system means an AI that is learning from its experience. And it's something that I experimented at the beginning of Assetto Corsa. It's doing 218. I think we can be pretty happy with this one. And what we are going to do, we don't even need the telemetry because we know it's faster than me, so it's fine. What we can do is give it to a completely different track, such as Magione, which is a very tight track, which is something that you want to be racing these cars on. I will just start the AI and keep ranting about the expert system. So the idea of the expert system is that the AI has an history. So in a simple term, it's like, the AI can divide the track in different sections, and every time it passes a section, it sort of analyzes what happened in that section. And so if everything was okay, the AI goes like, oh, so it means I could go faster in that part of the track. If something goes wrong, the AI will have to say, okay, I have to back it off a bit in that part. And that means that basically the AI can sort of target all these values, all these tuning parameters that at the moment I'm doing by hand. It can sort of doing it automatically. The big problem with this is, first of all, time needed to develop all the parameters, basically let the AI run enough laps on tracks. And when you start to approach the number of cars and tracks that we have, the combination explosion is huge. And the result is that it will just take an incredible amount of time to have all the AI doing all their experience on the track. And also the other big problem is that every time you do a change to an AI algorithm, what is happening is because the expert system is really pushing hard on that car, basically all your data becomes invalid because it's not, all the assumption could be wrong at that point. So every time you do a modification to anything in the physics of the car or in the AI algorithms, you will have to rerun the entire suite of text of every car on every track. So that becomes a big problem. Another possibility is to have the AI learning during the race. And that's something that it's also a problem because it basically doesn't cover the situation where you just want to do a quick race. So the AI doesn't have any time to learn the track. So basically you end up with a situation where you still need to have a system like this in place where basically the AI can just go for it straight away without any knowledge of history on the track. And at the same time you have to maintain the other system. And of course, these are the kind of brute force approach where you have two things that, if you start to go into this direction, it really doesn't work that well. Fine, okay, so the car seems to have no problem as well in Magione. So before we actually call it a day, I think what I'm going to do is just try a quick race with this car. And before I start this, I will quickly come to chat to see if you have any questions. Before I start this, okay. AI is still not using ABS. Actually, no, they're not, because they are faster. They are faster if they don't use the ABS, because the way Aris is setting the ABS is sort of setting it for in a realistic way, like driving on wet. So because you can turn off the yeah, sure. You will see we will see a race, so you can check the how the overtake works. So the AI is not using the ABS because it's faster without the ABS, and it's still something that annoys me, especially when you drive something like that and the AI makes mistakes locking the tires on a car that is supposed to have ABS. Probably I was thinking to sort of turn off the braking mistakes for cars that have. I will just do the race and then I will come back to the chat. Quick race here I would like to start in the middle of the park. I don't want to start in the last position. How do we do this? Whatever, I will start last. Magione is not going to be ideal to check the overtaking because it's not a track where overtaking is. This doesn't look like a race to me. Of course. Simply there isn't enough space to overtake. But it's a good track to check. The other problem with the AI that sometimes pit you and make you sleep like a cop would. And you sort of have to learn to avoid the movements. So always stay close to the apex to avoid the AI from doing that. At the beginning, also the AI, when the AI has lots of cars in front, they sort of, like a human would, start to drive slower. So, maybe you've noticed that at the beginning of a race, you can actually pass them easily, but then when they start to be with a free road ahead of them, they start to become faster. And also, it's important at the beginning of the race, like a real race, you have to predict the fact that, here you go, they don't have space to drive, so they are going to be braking much earlier than you expect. So you sort of need to learn to move with them. So we are still in a two-line mess here. So, and honestly, I don't remember the situation with the. Usually, here the eye is always incredibly slow. I need to fix this. Every car is losing lots of time here in Majorette. Okay. Another thing is learn how to attack them. You see that as soon you put your nose inside them, they sort of let you go. Now this guy is still with me, and now he gave up. The AI right now in a race is 96%. I find that that's usually a level that allow me. It changed a lot with the cars. 96% with cars like the Lotus 98 is like they give me 4 seconds or something. The more the car is complicated, the more the difference between human and artificial intelligence grows. No drama at the moment, 13 positions, and I'm going to start trying to drive in a more aggressive way, and let's see what happens. Like, I'm going inside of this guy, let me go through, fine. Let's see if he's trying to fight back. He's trying to fight back, but he starts to go into oscillation mode and basically cannot stay with me and really attack me at the end of this corner. Plus, in this corner they're really slow. Look how slow they are. Look how much I was able to get close to this guy in that corner. That's typical. They're not bad here, and not bad in the sequence here. Although they're not going full blast because there is traffic in front of them. Okay, so I'm going to attack this guy. Got slipstream, fine. It's a nice model actually. Brake. Yes. No drama. Usually they brake late here. Yeah, it's difficult to get them in this corner. Try diving. Yes. See, this is important. He's still there actually, the guy. He's fighting back. Yeah. But eventually he will give up. The reason the reason why they give up like that, even if they are inside of the corner, is because they know that I am on the outside. Now, as humans, we do a very complex calculation. We say, fine, I am inside of the corner, so if I go fast, I can actually go, I can have a better line compared to the other guy that has to go on the outside, and eventually I can get wider and close and go faster. The AI doesn't know that. They really think they need to do the entire corner on the inside. And so their algorithm is just passing them a much lower speed. So they actually brake more, and you know, it's annoying. It's sort of suspension of reality where you know that's exactly what they're going to do. Like, you know, for example, this guy gave up immediately. There you go. You know, because he thinks he needs to go all the way around. There you go. But it's important that this can be it can be very frustrating for fast drivers, because they you know, you get this feeling that they're not fighting you. But it's essential for people that are not really that good at driving, and it's essential that the AI doesn't hit you. So even if you brake in totally stupid positions, you know, the AI needs to be able to avoid you. Inside driving this guy, they're very big. As soon they feel that you are inside, they sort of say, oh, you know, there you go, I will stay on my own. Last lap, and we started last, and we are 8th position. There's no drama. I really think we can call it today with this car, and I think I will never drive it again in my life, unless there is a bug, of course. That's the new code for overtaking, and with cars that are the same, it really doesn't work. They actually lose more time doing that maneuver than what they gain. But it works in a situation where you have a car that is faster than another car, like, you know, two different GT class of cars. And basically by doing that, because it's faster, it will allow you to just accelerate away. So you don't get a faster GT car stuck behind a slow one anymore. Still not perfect, but better than it was. So there you go. That's the end of the race. And I think we can say goodbye to the Alfa Mito. It was a pleasure to meet you. Okay, back in the chat, let's see quickly what you guys are talking about. Do I have the new UI to show to us? I don't know how it works because I don't work with it. So I will try to organize that for the next streaming that I do, probably next week. How does the AI see a real driver? They don't make any difference between other AI drivers and real drivers. Maybe they should, because they can trust another AI more than they can trust a real driver. Because the problem with real drivers, is that they can really break in totally wrong position where the AI doesn't expect it. Now, if you do that on a real racetrack, you will get hurt, or you will get, black flag out of the race. People will just let you know, look, if you start braking, 100 meters before the braking point, you're going to be a danger for the other drivers. So that wouldn't happen in real life, but it happens in games a lot, especially if you are a beginner or if you don't know the track and things like that, and really you don't want the AI to hit you every time, because otherwise it's not a game anymore, it's not fun. The fast lane, yeah, the problem, the algorithm really doesn't support that, needs one lane. It's something that we struggle, especially because there are cars that likes to hit curbs and cars that really don't like to hit curbs. So what we're forced to do with lines is don't take too much curb and don't take enough curb. So basically you hurt both situations. Simone, Katrina. Okay, so let's move on. Simone, go to work. I already said about Barcelona, but we cannot show it, I think. I think Marco will get angry if we show Barcelona. Yes, we use Git now. We've been on SVN for most of the development, and we moved to Git at the beginning of this year. Right, what's next thing to do here? Diff controllers is going to be mostly coding. So what diff controllers are, we have a concept of an electronic controller that can read car data, and based on that you can write algorithms to output value that goes into that get plugged into something, being it a wing angle for cars like the Pagani with movable wings, or it could be a curse strategy. You see controllers in act with the LaFerrari, where you have the curse working automatically, and depending on what the car is doing. So the Nissan works in a very similar way. So we have yesterday I had a controller to put more torque to the front or to the rear of the car. Aris did some work on it. It's not enough, so we need another controller now for the amount of lock in the central differential. So what is happening is that when the system realizes that the car is spinning, or you're going into oversteer, is locking the central differential, and it sort of make it easier, make the car want to realign itself. So how we go to do this? The first thing, we need to add the concept of understeer factor in the controller strategy. So what the understeer factor is actually simply slip angle of the rear of the car minus the slip angle of the front of the car. That's basically giving you a positive number when the car is oversteering and a negative number when the car is understeering. So, going to the next GTR. File for the, so this is going to be GTR all-wheel drive center. We are understeering, we want to basically remove the lock, 0. If we are in a neutral situation, we want to 0 lock. And if we are oversteering, so 20, we want to give lock, 100 meters lock. This into the drivetrain. one. And the name of the file that we look for is lock. Initialize lock. Cool. So instead, controllers, which is logic. So if we have if we have a central controller, so we remove all the power and cost because it means that the differential is controlled by this controller, and we give the preload to whatever output comes from lock. Fine. And we output what this guy is doing. So different from the values that I'm using there. Just output the result and see if it makes sense. See if it works. Basically what I need here is to create oversteer in order to then check the value. Looks like it's working, but I want to see the sleeping just to maybe start with the sleeping from the front tire. Wrong because I need to take the absolute value. So this is the absolute value. Otherwise, if you're turning on one side, it will lock, and if you turn on the other side, it won't. Actually felt easier, so I wonder if it's because the controller is doing what it should. Yep, that's it. So that's the beginning of the corner where we are basically understeering. Lock is 0. Here we start to oversteer. Yeah, and lock is going up. We have 21 degree slip angle at the back and 3 degrees at the front. And the center lock is locking. And the car becomes easier to realign. And that's how we like technology. Cool. Now it's up to Iris. Because I'm here, I think I will also do this for the normal. He wanted this for also normal differentials, so it's straight away because it's basically the same code doing exactly the same thing. And it's working on just different parameters. Block. So if we have control for this block, house if cost run 0, if cost power run 0, and if preload is the evaluation of this guy. Cool. So we don't test this because it's basically the same code. So if Alex will find a bug, we'll just report it. So now it's up to him. Okay, back to the chat. I just go back and answer to a couple of questions. You guys write a lot. He's doing C++? Yes, it's C++. I agree that putting too much stuff on Python is not a good idea because it just opens the door to cheating. Imagine if you have a situation where you can control steer or pedals through Python, and you can imagine immediately you will start to get apps to do traction control and things like that. So it's something that I did on purpose. Yes, I'm using Visual Studio 2013. How Oculus supports? We're not doing anything at the moment. So the situation with Oculus is that we know where we are. It pretty much works, but there is a huge problem with the user interface, and the reason is that the user interface was designed before Oculus even existed, and it's all based on keyboard and mouse. So in order for us to support completely the Oculus, we need to redesign the user interface. We're doing that for the console version, but I have no idea when and if that's coming to the PC, because the problem is going to be I don't want to be same idea as I was saying before with the artificial intelligence. I don't want to be in a situation when I have to support two user interface, and I know already that if we put a new user interface, there will be like lots of people that say, "Oh, I like the old interface better," or "I could do this thing in the old interface and I cannot do it in the new." So we will see. We will see. I cannot do any promise. Put the kids, I don't know too much NBA games. I work with the Python API. No, it's I don't plan any work on that. On the API, I'm doing the API for the server, which sadly the only solution really was to make it in Go using RPC for communication. It's not really ideal. It's not nice. I'm not really happy about that plugin interface, but it's really the only option I have. We can do gear before the lights to go out. Yeah, I think it's not essential. If you think you will win a race on the first 20 meters, I don't want to race with you. No, really, seriously, the problem with the gear is just that you need to create then a penalty system for people that starts too early. So that's the real problem. It's not to allow you to do it, but how we handle the situation with the penalty. I didn't really like the solution in Netcar where it was just in teleporting you to the pits. So actually it is an easy solution, an easy situation to handle with that drive-through, because you know it's going to be on the first lap, and so you don't have the problem of a drive-through at the end of the race. So we'll see, but it's not really hard. From Beijing. Ciao. Okay, so I think I'm going to my next, and then we will finish this first experience. So what's next on my list? Check the Lotus 98 spinning on race starts. Let's see if it's true. Let's see if this is true. So we do a race with 15 Lotus 98 T. Where we do it? Difficult start that's not straight. Imola. This has the potential of being incredibly funny, because if they all spin on race start, this is going to be really fun. You cannot see it, but now on this little leaderboard here, you can see which tires they're using. That was an anticlimax. They didn't spin. At all. As usual, very slow at the beginning. Oh, crazy Ivan in the middle of the pack. Come on, Turbo. And they are gone. This car is so good. The AI is so good with this car. They're actually cheating. They're cheating big time. It makes them incredibly fast. Like half a lap, I cannot see them anymore. Okay, so they didn't spin. So let's try another track. Let's try Monza. be a nightmare on the first corner if they get there. Whoa, whoa, ice spike. What an idiot. Actually, they are so good. They pass through the first corner Monza without problem. I'm so proud. Let's restart so I can see it better. If I can manage not to spin. Looks totally fine to me. It might be possible that the version the tester tried was in the middle of developing something with the AI. Yeah, actually, the big difference is that the AI is not using stability control anymore, which makes them more interesting to look at. Sometimes they get sideways. Oh my god, I cannot believe they're gone. They're so massive. So yeah, they don't use stability control anymore, and that led me to believe that the spinning problem was real. Well, I think it was something broken in the build they tried. Ooh. Okay, let's see if it was the 49 instead of the 98 to a problem. Those are the cars that are difficult. That one, the Mercedes C9. C9 is crazy. It's a shame because I love how the car looks. It's so frustrating to drive. It's just too difficult. It's a crazy car. Okay, let's see what's happening here. New head position, I think. We're much lower. Whoa. Okay, that was a bit wild, but it didn't spin out. Brake. Good boys. Good boys. They are better than real drivers, actually. There is always a mess there in Monza. They managed to ruin the track. Let's see if I can stay with them a little bit more. Bang. Cheat. Whoa! Three wide. You got the guys break for no reason at all. I hate that when they do that. Yeah, you see there is more passing going on. I think they didn't do that in the version that is out now still. These guys attacking me. What a mess. He passed me. Good boy. Lots of movement in front of me. Oh my god. Stay in front. More yellow flags everywhere. What a mess. Yellow flag again. What a crazy race. This guy is basically stopped in the middle. Taking for it. Come on, yellow car. Don't brake, don't brake, don't brake, don't brake, don't brake. And che cazzarola. Don't brake. He's in the outside and he thinks he needs to brake. Yeah, same thing here. Now they're both going to brake like crazy. And I go out. Let's see if I can catch them. Of course, Monza is a kind of track that really. Lend itself to fighting a lot. And long and long and long and long. Cheating again. They don't spin, but it was not that good. So 10 minutes shot and then we close it. I close this for today. Sparks, well, I got the code done, so yeah, I will try to put it in. Let's see if I can do it. Yeah. We had a problem with Sparks because it also does Sparks when you have two cars hitting each other. And at the beginning, we had the AI at the beginning of early access, especially in race starts like in Monza. They were hitting each other all the time. So there was this ridiculous situation where you had sparks everywhere because the cars were hitting each other. And it was sort of really getting the attention, like, oh, they're hitting each other. So we decided to take it out. But now they're much better, so I think it's time to put it in and see the Lotus 98 doing lots of sparks. What is your favorite red sauce? No idea. Arrabbiata. Is any way to keep this alive? Let's see. So, how do I keep this alive? What keep this guy? Broke user. Flying spark. And broke user. Yep. Yeah, so Kunos 1, a lot, no, none, 0. Yeah, they're nice. They're nice. I don't remember how it works for the replay. I think that was another problem with the Sparks. Basically, you need to add information in the replay, which makes the replay file bigger, and which make you guys break my balls again. So, yeah, everything we have comes with a price. I think, okay, so what would be the next thing to do? The check AI slow and arrabbiata is going to be very boring. So I think, guys, I think we can close this first experiment. I think it has been 1 hour and a half stream. So it's not going to be a big deal, but at the end they all add up. But I think it with the new replay system that got in, I think replay size is not that huge problem anymore, I suppose, and the quality is still decent. Yeah. Okay guys, I will stop the stream now and get some water. L'apechino, che mi serve l'apechino? Mi serve... Che mi serve l'apechino? No. Stefano, will you buy my MR2? No reason to buy a car in the Philippines. There is no place I can really drive it. What do you think about the situation of Greece? I don't know, but I think that will be fine because we have our user interface developer is in Greece, so I think it's fine. Temperature of the brake is something that we want to do, but it's not going to be 1.2 for sure. Because it brings, it's not that complicated to code, but it brings a huge amount of work for Aris on the physics. Show AC running. Let me see. If I can quickly do it. I have to tweak the time. It's not that great actually. I was driving the other day on a mod track for Forest Rally, which is I don't know if I'm supposed to show you this car. I will not say what it is. Very quickly, this one. I don't know how it's going to be because it's not something I do. Yes, because there is a problem in this track. To turn on and off error detection. This is a fantastic track. I don't know if it is coming from some other game. Basically, what it is a different tire model that is calculating how much the tire is digging into the gravel and creating sort of sidewalls around the tire itself. problem with this thing is that there isn't really much data available on what a tire is doing. Is there a corner here? Yeah, slow down. Whoa, 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 whoa. So, of course, you know, to make a rally game, it's not just the physics. You need to create a navigator system. And of course, you need to have very long stages, so it also work. Here is a part where it jumps. We cannot jump that high. And if I remember, there is a there is a braking to do. I think before this jump. Yeah. Brake. It's all about making it a rally game. But then the console project came in. And of course, Dirt Rally came out. So, much more competition. That's it. I think I suck enough for this. More launcher. Yeah, I love the Stratos, but you know, if we don't, I don't know, a Stratos on a circuit, I don't know how much it makes sense. I don't even know if we have a channel open with launcher. No idea. Okay, guys, I'm going to close this. Thank you very much for watching. And if you like that, my plan is to do this sort of every week, and so you can see how things are progressing. Sadly, I won't be able to show much multiplayer because being in the Philippines means I can't basically do multiplayer at all. Of course, I have 2 computers here, so usually when I do multiplayer stuff, I just use my 2 computers here. Set up a server in Singapore, which gives me about 200 milliseconds latency, which is realistic. And then I use my 2 PC here at home to actually see the result. So I think eventually it is what I'm going to work for most of next week. Actually, next week I'm out in Hong Kong, so probably I will do the thing when I come back. So probably Friday the 10th or something like that. Okay, I close this. Thank you very much, guys. Cheers.